Hi, everybody. It's Jill here with Illuminating Women, coming to bring another one of our fabulous speakers. This one is our keynote speaker that will be at our conference March 6th and 7th here in Seattle. We are so excited. And I tell you, how I landed and got this woman to come to educate, to empower us is like, exciting. I'm just so excited. So I got to tell you, this amazing woman, this is Maresa Friedman. And I love, she calls herself the executive cat herder. I mean, like, really? And she will be coming to us she'll be our last speaker of the day, and she'll be tying everything up. And what she'll be talking to you is about owning the room and some of those leadership skills that we women are looking for. You may be working in corporate or public, you may be in bio or in technology, or you may be a woman entrepreneur and you're wanting to go through another transition in your life. Maybe you're done raising kids. Whatever your story is, it is so vital for us to be able to be empowered with our own leadership skills, and all the work we're going to do at this conference is going to lead right up to here, and we're going to walk out of this door elevated really high, and it's just going to be phenomenal. So without further ado, Maresa, I would love you to share a little bit about who you are, and oh my word, you've got this amazing litany of places you've been, people you've reached out to and taught. Can you share and let everybody meet you and know a little more about you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm super excited to be a part of the Illuminating Women Conference. When I first heard about it, not only was I excited, but it's so great to be in women-supported areas, women-led areas, where we're really inspiring all of the women and encouraging them to engage on a level that's comfortable with a little bit of uncomfortableness, but towards execution, right? I think empowerment in this space is really overused, and I love events and conferences where there's true empowerment, where people are getting actionable takeaways and things they can implement right now and today, and that it's encouraging to a diverse group of women. I think there's a lot of misconceptions in the empowerment space of younger entrepreneurs, and what I kind of say is I like to look at kind of like a Pentagon effect, right? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Or 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I think when we look at ages and the growth rates of entrepreneurs, right, we know that female entrepreneurs that have worked in a corporate job that are over 40 have about an 80% success rate when they launch a startup. And so I'm just excited to be a part of the event. But, my story is not unlike a lot of people's, right? I was very happy in my corporate job. I was 9 to 5. I was, and over the years, what ended up happening is I felt a little bit disrespected in the workplace. And I come from an immigrant family, and so you just grow up with, you suck it up and you don't complain. And I thought, well, I don't want to go to work every day and complain or feel not valued. And I thought, what if I went off on my own? And so it was kind of I would say a last minute type of thing, where on a Wednesday I left work and I had an opportunity. I broke all the rules, right? When you leave a job, you're not supposed to tell people that you're looking for work. So they're supposed to guess. And I said, this doesn't work for me. Everyone that I talked to said, well, don't tell anybody that you've left. And I said, how is anyone going to know that I'm available if I don't say it? So I broke all the rules. I went on LinkedIn and I said, hey friends, I'm looking for new opportunities. And that Monday, I was flown to New York and I got a consulting opportunity, and I haven't looked back, and it's 5 years later. So I think that what, is different from my story is I'm not a career-born entrepreneur. My background is in operations and analytics. But what I think that I bring to the table is a very clear way to process and kind of be an architect of different types of conversation and planning. And that's what I think my main focus, on working with people to own a room or to own a space, is to realize in business, we need the passion, we need purpose. But a lot of times as women, we don't want to talk about profit or money. And so those three things formulate kind of like a triangle, right? And so when we're missing one of those things, the triangle gets a little bit wobbly. And so my job is to encourage people to feel safe about making money, to feel safe for asking for money, to feel honored in the opportunities that they pursue, and to understand that as women, we can come together and align, and actually, even though it's not the way we would do it, maybe we can respect how other people are going about it. Because that's really true empowerment. True empowerment is not saying, do it my way, and if you don't do it this way, you're not being successful. It's to say, here's a collection of ideas based on people's differences, right? Some people love to blog and be on video. It's not my strength. I don't love doing it, right? But on the other hand, if someone else is great at it, then they should definitely go about that. So each person, based on what's good for them, can determine the framework that's going to bring them excellence and execution and their own empowerment. And that's what I'd love to be around. I love to be around people that don't agree with me. I love to be around people that think differently than me, that had different backgrounds than me. And I think part of that is, it to me all just comes down to respect, right? How do we influence people around us without intimidation? How do we create conversations and narratives that are safe for people to have conversations, but also honest and transparent? Because we have a lot of walls in entrepreneurship. And what we start figuring out really quickly is that because people are kind of copying each other's stuff, it's not authentic, it's not unreal, and then it feels weird and it feels off. And then when you see people really step into that authentic, like, here is who I am and I'm okay with that, and I'm not going to be okay with everybody and everyone is not going to like me, the freedom with that really gives you that space for ownership, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, my job is to have conversations that bring out honesty in business owners and say, here's where I'm really great and here's where I need help. And then figuring out, you know, this is a trait that's built me up, but is it serving me now? And to get into that space of transparency of saying, these are the comfort levels, and then getting really clear about what ownership means, right? Because each business owner is going to have, you may be the best attorney, or you may be the best HR director, the best baker, right? Now, all of those skill sets don't mean that you're the best at leadership development, communication, and sales. And so it's really about supplementing and adding to some strengths and adding more tools. It's not necessarily, I don't like to use the word weakness. A lot of the time we talk about weaknesses and people have, you can see a pullback reaction to weakness, but it really is about saying, what are we okay at and what could we be even better at? So just that subtlety and how we talk about things, I think, is important.
Oh, I love it. That's really juicy. A lot of really good work. Because in this conference, that's part of it. You know, you're going to be speaking, but and teaching, but we're also going to get opportunity to look at how we can implement these new tools and create some new skills. And I think about some of those women who are wanting the pay raise, who are wanting to level up in their positions in their jobs. And getting that confidence, and this is what this whole conference is geared, is to help women really, you know, to fire it up, because this is 2020, brand new decade. We're going to be celebrating 100 years of us having the right to vote in this country.
Absolutely.
And as women, and we know that when women work on their personal and professional growth, they illuminate their personal lives. They're stronger and healthier. Families are stronger and healthier. Communities and the world. And this is what we're here to really get those women fired up. Can you share a little bit about other places because you've got quite a litany of places you've gone to, Google, NFL. I mean, sure.
Yeah. So I think part of I would say the variety of my background, right? I'm a Google certified speaker. I've done keynotes for companies like Wix.com. We run a marketing club in Southern California that's about 23,000 strong, really value-driven communities, really big names, really small names. I partnered with the Tory Burch Foundation last year. I've done projects with MetLife and LinkedIn. And one of the things when we work across all of those, and people say, those seem a little bit different. They're not the same. And I always tell people strategy is one of these things. And as a strategist, right, that works even if a platform algorithm changes. So for example, if I only specialized in Facebook advertising or Instagram or one or the other, we would lose that. But a good process and a good strategy, you can replicate that across multiple channels. And even if an algorithm change happens, you're not going to be affected. And so when I work with a lot of these organizations, we really think about, what is the brand narrative? What do people really ultimately need to come away with? And that's kind of my goal for the conference is, you've got all of this great stuff. What are we going to do to activate? Because I know the minute that everybody leaves the room, guess what happens? You turn on your cell phone, you start getting text messages. You might have to go home and cook dinner for the kids. You might have, soccer the next day, whatever those things are. So what happens Monday morning? And my goal is to work with people in a room to get them to understand, like, you heard about 20 to 35 amazing things. How do we break this down and start implementing right away? How do you take what some of the speakers said before me and really make this actionable? And I love speaking specifically with intrapreneurial women who are women in really large organizations, a lot of which, I mean, if you look at football, right, I do work with a lot of athletes, and I've had opportunities to do work with some of the alumni associations. And what we see is that in these male kind of dominated, that's our fun narrative, right? These are male dominated industries. Well, guess what? Being a woman in a male dominated industry is acceptable. We're able to show empathy. We're able to show that having vulnerability is okay, but we're also able to show these intrapreneurial women, you can be an entrepreneurial mindset in a large organization and make changes, right? There's a ton of really great intrapreneurs, like at Walmart, right? Walmart Labs in California, down here in Carlsbad, intrapreneur. He went to the organization and said, hey, we want to open a West Coast office. And then he's built this beautiful tech hub for women and diverse entrepreneurs and engineers. And so there's tons of ways to leverage your own branding to create narratives in a really big company, and also use that as an opportunity and a springboard, right, to get paid or to ask for the raise. And a lot of times, I'll give you a really quick example. If you've ever kind of thought back to being in a staff meeting, and there was a bunch of people at the table, if you were the one that was late, as women, we tend to come into a room. What do we try to do? We physically shrink. We try to make ourselves small. We apologize, and we try to come in and be quiet. And I'd ask you to think about how you've maybe seen male colleagues or male counterparts come in. They're big, they own the space, they don't apologize, they just sit down and they keep going. And that's a difference about owning a room. Anyone has the opportunity to, life happens. What are you going to do? There's no need to apologize profusely 100 times. And you know what? We tend to, unintentionally, women tend to make excuses because we're so used to having to maybe justify why, oh, I'm late because the kids were sick, or I'm late because that. Now think about the dads, right? Oh, I'm late because I was sick and I was home with the kids. Oh, you're such a great dad. Well, I have learned that the power of just saying to someone, I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend, and just let that go. I watch people kind of go like, wait, she's not going to tell me why? No, I'm not. I'm a grown woman. I'm just going to tell you no, thank you. So try that the next time you say no to someone. Don't tell them why you're saying no. No need to go into the explanation. Just say, oh, you know what, thanks so much, but I won't be able to attend.
Wow.
And just let that sit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is, wow. If you are not excited and ready to just come and be around a bunch of uplifting, empowering women, and this is a level playing field where we walk in and just show up authentically who you are, and let's all get congruent together, because we know when women support each other, there's so many studies on it that
absolutely.
we fly that much higher. We get to those those dreams and goals we want, and we deserve it, right? And
absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm absolutely thrilled. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun and educational, because we believe in education being a key component of our mission in Illuminating Women. Yeah. So I want to thank you so much, Maresa, for showing up today and talking and sharing a little bit about, and for being our keynote speaker. Absolutely. And ladies, if you would like to come to this conference, come and look at illuminatingwomen.com. It's the 2020 conference, Building Bridges for a Bolder and Braver Future. And this is the lineup of speakers. I've had so many coaches tell me, wow, this is what women are really looking and wanting to gain new access, new skill sets. So come on, join us March 6th and 7th. The night before, we have a welcome party, and then the 7th all day with a follow-up celebration party. So come on and join us, ladies. Come to illuminatingwomen.com, and we will see you at the conference. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
All righty.